Ohio's health insurance marketplace application explained. Hi, I'm Joey Giangola with Giangola Insurance Agency, and today we're going to take a few minutes to break down the application for Ohio's upcoming health insurance marketplaces and help you understand how to make sense of them. Health and Human Services just recently released these back at the end of April, and I thought, well, let's go ahead and break these down, walk through, just show you step by step exactly what you're going to need to do, how you're going to need to do it, and why essentially you're going to need to provide this information. The applications that we're going to be going through are the paper or PDF versions of the application. The online version of this is not live yet, but these forms should give you a pretty good idea of what to expect when the application process does go live. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is that there are 3 separate applications that you need to choose from depending upon your situation and what you're looking to do. We're going to break that down. Hopefully that process will be streamlined on the online application process and basically be selected for you, or just once you toggle a couple drop-down options will populate the right form for you. But we'll just wait and see how that plays out. But right now we're going to walk through the 3 different versions and explain what's different, what you need to do, how you need to do it, and what you can expect. So here we go. We're going to pull it up. I'm going to actually show it to you right on my screen, and we're going to get into it and walk through step by step. All right, so here you go. This is the individual short form for the health insurance marketplace. And you're going to want to use this application if you are a single person looking to apply for tax credits through the exchange. Now, again, you can apply faster online, and this process isn't up yet, so that we're not going to actually go into this, but this is what we have available. So this should give us a pretty good indication of what we can expect. This information should just be transferred seamlessly, hopefully, into that online process. I would imagine that since, like I said, there's 3 different versions, I would imagine that you would just, once this goes live, that you would find yourself just kind of going through this quick qualification process that they have, and then they would allow you to just fill out the form from answering those questions, or just answering who you are and why you're applying, and then it'll give you the form that you need to apply. So if you're doing it manually here with these PDFs, or if you're mailing it in, you're going to need to make sure that you pick the right form. What you may need: your social security number. If you are a legal immigrant, you're going to need your document number. Your employer and income information, for example, pay stubs, W-2, wage and tax statements, things like that, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and get right into it. That's going to be the same on all applications. We'll break it down a little bit more as we go along here. But the first step, very simple. If you have a hard time filling out this part, well, I don't know that we can really do anything for you, but I don't think you should. This should be pretty self-explanatory. Name, address, so on and so forth. It's really, really basic until you get down to where it says here, number 23, are you pregnant? Now, I don't know. I can't figure out why this is included in here, simply because whether you answer yes or no to this is irrelevant to the actual acceptance of the policy. There's nothing that's going to prevent you from getting the coverage. This is just their way of trying to get a little more information out of you. And then the most strangest part of the question is, if yes, how many babies are you expecting to have during this pregnancy? Now, I mean, you're having 1 baby, you're having 2 babies. I mean, again, I don't know. I've never seen this on any insurance application ever. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, there might be some strange government reason for this, but it has very little to do with whatever they're looking to get from you. So again, basic information here. Let's move on to step 2, your current job and income information. Now this you're going to want to be fairly detailed with, simply because this is how they're going to determine how much money you're going to qualify for in tax credits through the exchange. So you're going to want to make sure that you give your employer name and address, your employer phone number, all this stuff. You're going to want to make sure, if you're on an hourly pay scale, provide how many hours you work each week. If there's any tips or anything like that before taxes, all this basic information here. And then again, if you had a job prior, they got a spot here to add your second job. And then obviously, if you have any other additional employment or income streams from different areas, whether it be alimony, retirement, net farming, and fishing. Very strange questions here, but if you do fall in any of these categories, you're going to need to include that information as well. Again, number 12 here, this is important. It may seem irrelevant, but they're going to want to know how much interest you have to pay on a student loan that can be deducted on your federal income tax return. If yes, how much, how often, so on and so forth. Your yearly income, you're going to want to only complete your income if it changes from month to month. If you don't expect changes to your monthly income, you can go ahead and skip this, go right on down to step 3. Now, step 3, this is if you are enrolled in health coverage now from any of the following. This is basically letting them know your situation currently. Where do you have your health insurance from? So if you're participating in one of these other government programs, Medicaid, CHIP, Medicare, TRICARE, Peace Corps, VA, the Veterans Association for their health benefits. And then other is going to be where I would imagine a lot of you are going to fall. And this is going to be the box that you're going to want to check. You're going to want to provide them with the name of that health insurance. Basically, when they say name of health insurance, that's the company, whether it's Medical Mutual of Ohio or Anthem or United Health One, Aetna, Humana, whatever. Whichever insurance company you're with, you're going to put that there. And then you're going to want to make sure to include that policy number as well too, and you're going to be able to find that on your identification card. Going down to step 4, this is basically their terms and conditions. This is all the fine print saying you agree to this, so on and so forth. They have the right to take your dog if you violate this policy on a weekend in a leap year, sort of thing. Obviously none of that's in there. I just made that up. It's completely random. But the one thing that you are going to want to pay attention to, and this I found interesting to say the least, is this section right here that says renewal of coverage in future years. And again, they are going to say to make it easier to determine your eligibility for paying for health coverage in future years, they're going to allow you to agree for the marketplace to use income data, including information from tax returns. The marketplace will then send you a notice to let you know of any changes, and you can opt out at any time. Basically what that means is they're going to go ahead, take a peek at your income, what you made, what's going on in the bank, and basically get your hands in your financial situation to automatically determine how much you qualify for these tax credited subsidies. Now, on one hand, it's good because they're going to just do the work for you, make sure you're getting everything that you do need as far as the maximum amount of tax credits available to you. On the other hand, they're going to be messing around in a lot of the stuff that people generally don't want the government's hands in. And again, your situation could change to the point where you may not want them involved in automatically renewing these sorts of things, and you might want to remain in control of that without having to go through their opt-out process and things like that. But again, you do have the option. 1 to 5 years is the term that you can allow them to do such things. Of course, you can check this box here that says don't use your information. And basically don't renew it on a yearly basis. You'd have to do it yourself then. And then step 5, this is just going to provide you, of course, you're going to want to sign here on the 4th step, sign and date. And then that will kind of seal the deal for this application. Step 5 is just giving you instructions on where to mail this application. Appendix C, now this is important, at least for me. I'd like you to at least pay attention to this, because if you are working with somebody, if I'm helping you with this, if you have an agent, you have a broker, if you're working with one of their navigators, whoever it is that is helping you, you're going to want to make sure that their information is on this page. Now, they will probably be able to do this for you if they are helping you with this, but just in case that they're not, you're going to want to make sure this is there, simply because if it's not, well, then they're going to be pretty much closed out from helping you moving forward on any of this information. So, but that's it for the individual short form. Most of these forms are very similar. And we're going to go ahead and click over. This is for the family coverage here. Obviously, this is the very same look that we experienced with the short form. Again, you're going to want to apply for this. If you do have more than one person, you may qualify for a free or low-cost program, even if you earn as much as $94,000 a year for a family of 4. So again, step 1, same thing, very basic information here. This is going to be the main contact point for the family, the person that is the most responsible in charge of handling all these important documents and such. You're going to want to make sure their information is here. So that means if your husband doesn't ever return phone calls, hasn't checked his voicemail since Nixon was in office, well then his information is probably useless here. Step 2, we're going to go ahead. They're going to get a little more in detail about your family. They're going to want to know, who's living with you, how many children you have, so on and so forth. And then step 2, continued here, they're going to break it down by each person. And they're going to get into a lot of specific questions here Do you plan to file a federal income tax return next year? Do you need health coverage even if you have insurance? There might be a program with better coverage or lower costs, so on and so forth. And now this is where it really gets interesting to me here as we get down about halfway through the page. You see on question 9, do you have physical, mental, or emotional health conditions that causes limitations in activities like bathing, dressing, daily chores, etc., or live in a medical facility or nursing home? Again, these sorts of questions have very little to do with the overall application itself, since you will be required to get this coverage regardless. Only possibility that I can think of is that they're trying to weed out and make sure that you're not eligible for some other type of program. But again, this should have no bearing on your answer. If you're worried about it affecting your ability to get accepted, it should have no bearing on that. Again, a lot of this is just to determine how much financial assistance you may be eligible for. If your employer is offering a plan, if you have access to it there. If they are not, what is going on with that employer? Again, so now we're just going to go to person 2 in the family. Same information, current job and income. And then step 3, this is for any American Indian or Alaskan Native. And it's going to just ask, are you or is anyone in your family American Indian or Alaskan Native? Very simple. Doesn't need much explanation there. This is going to be for your family's health coverage. Now, this is going to be the same that we saw in the short form for most part, except one difference here is they're going to be asking about your employer insurance. And if you have that, if there's COBRA available. Again, just check these programs that apply if you do participate in any of them. But again, others going to be what I would imagine most are going to be checking. The name of the health insurance company that you have, the policy number. And then it's going to ask, is this a limited benefit plan like a school accident policy? Basically, a limited benefit plan is it's only going to cover specific things at a specific time. A school accident policy, basically, are you hurt at school, on the job, or whatever? Limited meaning it's not full-fledged insurance where you have an amount of money that you're responsible for, and then the insurance company takes care of the rest at a certain point. If it's anything other than that, generally it's going to be a limited benefit plan. And then they're going to want to know here, is anyone listed on this application offered health coverage from a job? Check yes, even if the coverage is from someone else's job, such as a parent or spouse. So that's important. So even if you don't have coverage from your job at work, let's say your mom or your dad does, you're 26 years or younger, that would make you check yes to that answer. If you're in Ohio, it's 28 or younger, you would have the option to go on your parents' plan. And again, if your wife or your significant other, your husband, your wife, if they have insurance through their job, if they would then be able to have coverage available that you could then get on. So we're going to get down to step 5. This is going to be, again, the kind of terms and conditions. Same deal here. They're going to give you the option to renew the coverage in future years the same way that you had before. Signature date, mailing information. Appendix A here, now this is where it's going to get a little tricky, a little intense. This is going to be your health coverage from jobs. This is where they're really going to do some digging. They kind of warmed you up with the probing up top there. They're going to really drill down and just take the gloves off at this point and find out exactly what kind of insurance might be available to you from your employer. And this is for anybody in the family. You're going to want to see here, are you currently eligible for coverage offered by this employer? Or will you become eligible in the next 3 months? So basically, did you just start a new job? Are they starting to offer benefits? What's the situation surrounding that? This is all to determine if you are, again, eligible to just be on this family plan. And this is where this is where you can end up inadvertently blowing the whistle on your company. I have a feeling that 90% of people are going to get these two answers wrong. But 14 and 15 here, does the employer offer a health plan that meets the minimum value standards? Now, regardless of your personal opinions towards your company's health insurance, it's very possible that they could be offering something that does meet the value standards. It's very possible that it's not, but just because you think it's a piece of crap doesn't necessarily mean it's a piece of crap based upon the actual standards that have been set. Now, is everybody going to know this? Well, that's going to be hard, and this is really, again, just their way of kind of cross-referencing the information that they're getting from the employer and getting it also from the employee. And this is where it's going to happen, because if you say no and they're not offering a plan, then your job your place of employment could be penalized for not doing so, because if your company has a certain amount of employees, it's over 50, they are required to offer health insurance or pay a penalty for not doing so. Basically, they want to know how much would the employee have to pay in premiums for this plan. So what you would pay, and then how frequent you would have to be paying whatever you're paying for that health insurance. And that's going to again determine whether it's affordable to you, which is another big part of this, because if it's not, well, then you're going to also be eligible for other benefits, credits, incentives, or whatever, basically benefits, because your plan through work is not considered affordable by the law's standards. Again, a lot of this stuff, I don't know that people are going to have this information, but 16 here, what change will the employer make for the new plan year? If known, obviously they're not saying that you have to know. Will your employer not offer any coverage? Will the employer start offering health coverage to employees, or change the premium for the lowest cost plan available? So basically, they're just again getting a very, very, very detailed look at what options, what your employer is doing with their health insurance. And basically, like I said, the best guess that I have is the cross-reference. Now this page here, the employer coverage tool, I honestly have absolutely no idea what it serves. It basically looks like a duplicate of the Appendix A. Now I don't know if you would have to take this to your employer. I have yet to get clarification on this. These just came out a week or two ago. But as the information comes out, I would definitely look into this. And if I again understand, or somebody tells me what these are, this actual page is for, I'll let you know. But basically, you're just kind of putting the same stuff on here. I don't know if this is something that you need to hand into your employer possibly, and they need to corroborate what you had said or not. Appendix B here, this is for any Native American or Alaska natives to fill out. Again, just basically if you're of Indian descent or Alaskan descent, go ahead and let them know. Now, Appendix C, same as it was on the short form. Again, anybody that you're working with, you're going to want to make sure that they are on this form so they can help you moving forward with the application, with the process in general, and just be involved and be somebody that you can turn to at any point in time. Things aren't working the way they should be for you. You're going to want to make sure that that information is there. That's pretty much it for the single and family pages, or applications, I should say. And then you have, last and not least, well, it is kind of least, the application for health coverage. This is just the general page application for, it doesn't matter if it's a single person or a family, but you would use this application if you are not qualifying or looking to qualify for any tax credits for the government to cover any part of your health care costs or health insurance costs. Again, as you can see, who can use this application? Anyone who needs health coverage can use this application. Pretty broad, pretty simple. If someone is helping you fill out this application, you may need to complete that Appendix C again. So again, this application is going to be even more to the point, stripped down, basic information on step 1, and then it's going to have step 2. It's going to get everybody else in the family on the application real quick. Step 3, again, the American Indian and Alaskan natives. And then your terms and conditions have even been shrunken down to occupy a fourth of the page. Your signature, your date, your mailing instructions, and then your ever important Appendix C. That's it. They don't go into any information on your employment status, anything like that, because you're not qualifying for those tax credits. Now, it's important, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you're looking at this application, I can't, and this will play out as things progress here, but the exchange, or the marketplace as they are now known, their biggest selling point, their biggest advantage is those tax credits. If you do not qualify for those, there is really no reason or benefit, I should say, that you would want to apply for a plan through these marketplaces. The private, I guess, marketplace, or what we have today, there's basically going to be plans that you can purchase on your own outside of this marketplace, just like you can right now, that you would probably be in your best interest to deal with anyways at that point, because like I said, there's no reason to do it other than just your sheer desire to be a part of, I'm using air quotes right now, you can't really tell, just be a part of Obamacare. If that's the case, well, then you can go ahead and use this application. But if you're not qualifying, you might be better off looking elsewhere than the marketplace. So that's it. This is a quick, down and dirty, brief walkthrough of the application process, and hopefully gave you a good idea of what you need to do, why you need to do it, and how you need to do it. Once this online application process rolls out, hopefully, not hopefully, I guess I will definitely be doing something similar for you for that, to kind of walk you through and give you an idea of what to expect as this information comes out. So again, this was your walkthrough on Ohio's health insurance marketplace application. We've explained it a little bit for you. Anything that you're not clear on, let me know. Please ask me a question with a comment anywhere. Feel free to let me know, and I'll be happy to get in touch with you. So again, this is Joey Gingola with Gingola Insurance Agency. Take it easy, everyone.